What's up, everybody? So I'm back today because I finally got a chance to go to the theater and catch a couple of films that I've been really looking forward to watching. And the film I'm going to be talking about today I was really looking forward to because, surprisingly enough, it is a prequel to a film that was released this year. And little did us A24 or Ti West fans know that after the release of X, that we very shortly after, a few months after, we're going to get the prequel film, Pearl. And I have been so excited to see this movie. I was really bummed out that it took me this long to get a chance to see it, but I'm really excited to talk about it today. Pearl is directed by Ti West. Trapped on her family's isolated farm, Pearl must tend to her ailing father under the bitter and overbearing watch of her devout mother. Lusting for a glamorous life like she's seen in the movies, Pearl's ambitions, temptations, and repressions all collide in this stunning Technicolor-inspired origin story of X's iconic villain. So this film was so unlike X in the most brilliant way possible. There's some elements of it that are reminiscent that you could sort of feel, but X felt very much more like a straightforward slasher film with some independent horror elements mixed in that I really love. This film feels more like a love letter to a different era of cinema. The color palette is really vibrant. It's this really immersive, almost whimsical world mixed into this really horrifying material that I think is balanced really well. There is comedic levity in this film, which surprised me quite a bit, but I feel like it's handled really well. Obviously, Mia Goth's performance as Pearl is absolutely incredible. We're introduced to her. She's working on this farm, and everything is seemingly like really normal. And then there's a scene where she goes and like in the first 2 minutes of the film, she kills this goose and goes and feeds it to the alligator from X. And it's just absolutely wild, the contrast and the feeling that the beginning of the film is giving to you. And you see very early on that she's required to take care of her very ill father, and her mother is this very like stoic and kind of aggressive woman who is like, you know, having to take care of this home, take care of her disabled husband, so she's having to run this farm, get enough money and things for them to survive. And so she is very strict with Pearl, and Pearl, you can tell she's not really allowed to go out and do much. She's given money to kind of go to the pharmacy and do little things like that. And one day she goes to the pharmacy and she goes to see this film. She's all excited because there's these dancers in there. She has this whole like idea in her head of, you know, getting out of this world and becoming this famous film star. Her friend tells her that there's going to be this competition at this church for these dancers to go around Christmas time and sort of dance their way through the United States. And she thinks that she is the shoe-in for this part. She ends up meeting the projectionist at the local theater who kind of like puts it in her head that she has the ability to do this. And the whole film is this contrast of having a dream and having your family tell you that you can't accomplish this, while also them telling you that there's something wrong with you and that you're deranged. And what I love about this is, like, obviously we know from later on in X that Pearl turns into this murderous psychopath that kills people, but the way that they kind of introduce why she gets to that level is so much different than in other films. And that was something I was really appreciative of, is the way that that information is conveyed to you is so unique. And Mia Goth really sells it in her performance. There's so many little scenes that kind of put you inside of her head that show you her mental decline in a way that I feel like I haven't seen in a whole lot of other films. And that's so cool. Ti West was able to accomplish this, and it was such a fun ride. I feel like Mia Goth just keeps you on your toes the entire film. She kind of pulls your heartstrings in a way to where even though she's committing these really horrible atrocities, you sort of in the back of your mind feel for her and what she's going through. And I think that's really the brilliance of this film, is to get you as an audience member seeing this person commit these acts and say, hey, I actually feel bad for her, and I feel like what she's going through, that she doesn't deserve this. And that's something I really can always respect in a filmmaker, is when they can pull your emotions and kind of move you all over the place and make you feel a million different ways. Pearl is just brilliant. It's one of my favorite films of the year. I think I like it a little bit more than X. I'll have to see when Maxine comes out and watch them all three kind of simultaneously. But I feel like Mia Goth gave an amazing performance in X, but her performance in Pearl is amazing. There's this monologue sequence towards the third act that she gives, that she's has these really long takes, and she just delivers absolutely amazingly with her dialogue, and it really just shook me up, and it was just a brilliant film. I honestly was on the edge of my seat from the first frame to the end. I think Ty West is just cementing himself as one of my favorite horror filmmakers. He just constantly makes unique material, and I know a lot of people are just finding out about him because of X and Pearl, but if you get a chance, go back and watch films like The Innkeepers and The House of the Devil. They're more quiet and nuanced horror films that you can sort of see how he built up to making films like X and Pearl, and it's really exciting to see him kind of blow up and what A24 is doing for his career. So if you haven't seen Pearl, watch it. It is fantastic. So if you've seen Pearl, did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was brilliant. Just absolutely amazing performances, cinematography, score. It's just incredible. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.